Everything is going fine.
Senator Lloyd Cutler is expected to...
It's likely that Congress, under pressure from Republicans, will now have to go just to avoid. The president last hour or so, from a Habitat for Humanity home dedication, said Myers that the controversial meetings between Treasury officials and the White House staff on the course of the Madison Guarantee Savings
We're going to turn it
investigation before they were reported in the news.
Okay, now we're recording.
That he sent them all some money.
I sent them all $1,000.
He was so grateful that I recovered.
I had a pretty good week that week in the market, so I sent them all $1,000. And Jesus, of course, you think I gave them a big... I'm telling you, because it was worth about 1,100 and something because of reaching on it. Oh my God, I never got thanks and praises and in like...
Well, you know, he also took good care of my mother, because he really thought my mother was something, and she was something.
Oh, no woman in the world.
She
like
had the
him.
most patience of anyone, and my youngest sister...
With 8 kids, I guess you'd have to have a lot of patience.
My youngest sister is a lot like her, and but Evelyn, of course, is the one I grew up closest to, you know, and I told her but we fought like cats and dogs when we were growing up. But right now, I feel closer to her than the others because she's a widow. The other two have their husbands, still have their husbands. But anyway, they call up and there was something I was going to tell you about.
You're getting stoned, aren't you?
Yeah, really I am. I really am. I'm not used to drinking. I'm not used to drinking anymore.
Reminds me of the good old days.
And my memory isn't what it used to be. This is my problem.
I remember we used to trick your mother into... You used to take her out and Daisy used to go shopping around the shopping center and the mother would say she liked something and we used to trick her and then get me, Daisy would take her out there and say something like that to be walking around and I'd say, come on honey, let's you and I go up around and she'd tell me ahead of time what was a coat she wanted there.
Coat, yeah.
Coat, and I go walk around and then Daisy showed me the coat ahead of time.
We wouldn't let her spend any money.
And then I got that coat, I said, Jesus, a good looking coat, I'll just this look good in you. And she looked at me so damn queer. And I brought her that coat and holy Christ, you think I'd given her the world.
And you know, with 8 kids, they didn't have a lot of extra.
Yeah.
We had all the essentials, but not the luxuries.
Yeah.
But my father always told her he would buy her a birthstone ring. And he never got around to doing it. He died when he was still in his 70s. He was 10 years older than she was.
Did you get it?
You bought her one.
Did I buy one?
You bought her one while she was here. She was buried with it.
Oh, yeah?
But, yeah. But, anyway.
Daisy getting bombed.
What's the next time?
Scotty, I've been meaning to ask you this for a long time.
But anyway.
Where did everybody go to the bathroom on all these houses?
Evelyn.
I mean,
Every time I went home,
Those are stars.
Did you have a house with a bathroom?
was my
Those are
date.
stars.
Yeah.
Was
Stars
my
by
date when
eyes.
she met him. And he came by, and I wasn't, after I went to Boston to live, in the Boston area, I wasn't interested in any of the local people downtown, down home, you know. So he
You were in
came
the
by.
big city now.
Uncle, we spent, when I got there, we spent a few days with Aunt Bessie and Uncle George, and where they lived in Liverpool on a Saturday night to take us to a dance. Hank was my date, and Harold Armstrong was Evelyn's date. Well, it turned out that Hank came back later. Harold Armstrong didn't come back.
He never came back.
He never came back. But Hank came back and he wanted to take me out, and I said, I'm not going out with him. And Evelyn went out with him, and she ended up marrying him. So I...
God, you just think that what's happening.
all right. But every time I was interested, that I was interested in somebody, Evelyn took him away from me. So I was talking to her not so long ago, and I don't know what she brought up. She brought up somebody that we both dated. And I said, well, I don't know why you bring this up. I don't care about it. You took them away from me. She said, I didn't do that. I said, all right, the man you married, you took away from me. I wasn't interested in him anyway.
I always remember the times when Daisy has always been so proper. You know, Daisy is a little late.
And like you should hear a long time ago story about me when I ended up in their bathroom. And I fell backwards in their bathtub.
She's sitting on the goddamn floor throwing up in the toilet. And she is just as proper as anything you could possibly.
Listen, when we first moved to Chicago, that second time, and we bought that house in Buffalo Grove, Neil and Lucille came to spend the night with us. And we had moved, well, I'll tell you what happened at that time. No, wait a minute. This is what led up to what happened. My mother.
There's always a reason.
My mother and my brother and his wife had been in a terrific automobile accident. We had sold our...
We have a terrific automobile.
It was terrific. We had put our house on the market in the last house we bought in Dallas. Maggie and Ed had just moved back from Birmingham, Alabama to Dallas. We were over helping them to get settled. I got back over to the house. There was a telegram message on our door that to call home that my mother and my brother and his sister had been in a bad automobile accident. And Aunt Lo sent the telegram, and the neighbor took it and left it on my garage door. When I called her back, I found out that my mother had had a fractured skull. She was thrown from the car. My brother was in with broken bones. My sister-in-law was in with broken bones. And we were up there in Chicago. I couldn't go home. We sold our house in High Meadow, and they wanted to move in 2 weeks. We had to put our furniture in temporary storage in Chicago. Scotty bought a house up there without my even seeing it until the day we moved in. But I didn't care as long as we got someplace to live. But I couldn't go home, and they said my mother's condition was critical for 48 hours. She had a very bad
Is that when they came?
And that was when you and Pat came to visit us, because we had just moved in. We had martinis. Yes. And I was still keyed up from the move and what had happened down home. I couldn't go. And because I couldn't. We had to leave the house in a condition for the new owners to move into. They wanted it in 2 weeks. We put our furniture in temporary storage up there. We were waiting in a motel.
This was a long explanation.
Now wait a minute. No, I didn't get stoned. But I was so keyed up that we had had a few martinis and I got sick, and I ended up in the bathroom on the floor. Neil kept coming in and saying he brought crackers into he brought, eat these because it absorbed all this. And I was so sick that night. Oh, I was so sick. I think I finally got dinner on the table, didn't I? I don't remember. But anyway, they only had that one night to spend with us, and I spent most of it in the bathroom.
Well, he kept on going on about, he's got this thing with crackers, you know.
Well, it helped. It helped.
He kept on telling me, I gotta take crackers and peanut butter just to Mexico with me, you know, because that's the only thing that'll stop the diarrhea. You know, and he goes on and on and on about the crackers and the peanut butter and how he, you know, finally, he said, so, and I said, so what do you want me to do with these crackers and peanut butter? I'm supposed to eat the crackers and peanut butter. And he says, no, you're supposed to crumble it all up together and shove it up your butt.
Well, he fed me my mouth. He kept coming in the bathroom, and I was on the floor in the bathroom. We had a bathroom downstairs, and he kept bringing these crackers into me, and I had to eat them.
You wouldn't shove up your ass.
No, that was your problem.
Well, he has this big fixation on bathrooms. That's the big deal with him, and the councilman that I'm his treasurer, he happened to make the mistake of stopping by my house one day, and the minute Dad found out that he used to be on the sanitation board, well, this was it, He ended up, they had a discussion for like a half an hour about where all the shit flows, how many people are in Union City, and how many times they flush the toilet, and it goes on and on and on. And Bob, of course, he still talks about it to me. He says, what's your father doing? He remembers how he was so preoccupied.
Well, I think that's you have your stock market that
He kept feeding me these crackers by night.
buys a number of houses and
Get me
number of,
sobered up, and
do all
he
that
kept coming,
stuff.
Lucille, your mother felt so sorry for me. But, it wasn't only the move. We had just moved into this place, and I don't think we had even really settled completely. But they spent the night with us, and they had to leave early the next day. But I spent so much time in the bathroom floor that Lucille felt sorry for me. I think I got dinner on the floor before I got sick. And Neil kept coming in, you've got to, feed me these crackers. And I
Which house was that? The second one?
yeah,
That's
the
the
house
second
we bought in Buffalo Grove, yeah. And you took Neil and Lucille to the airport the next morning. They had to leave. Lucille felt so sorry for me. But it was a combination of what had happened to my mother and my brother and his sister and my sister-in-law. And what had happened and the move in general, we had to make it so fast. We put our house on the market on Thursday and it sold on Saturday night. And they wanted it in 2 weeks. So we could,
You wouldn't see
in
that.
order to get rid of it, we accommodated.
Now it's my turn now.
No, I know, you had an hour there.
No, I did not. I did not.
I got so.
All right, let him have it, let him have
For an
it.
hour.
Let him have his
No,
turn.
since I've been on, he's been up
I'll
an
get,
hour.
I'll go with you, you have your
Okay,
turn.
you're
He went on for an hour, for God's
I'll
sake.
give up my time. I really,
He went on for
I'm
an
like the
hour.
politicians,
Right.
I'll give you 2.5 minutes.
Do you have dinner cooking over there?
I haven't.
No, sit down, don't go away.
You may get a spoiled dinner like you got last night.
Okay, you're on, it's your turn. But make it short, will you?
I was trying to tell him about this house
Daisy, don't worry about dinner, will
that I
you?
bought that she didn't know about.
Please don't worry about dinner, I'm not hungry.
Well,
And
we'll eat about 6.
in Buffalo Grove, it was a new damn,
This was the cocktail hour.
100 house deals, all these new fancy houses there. And I don't know, they were going for about $42,000. And I was looking around all over that damn city, so I had to get near the plant where I put the office, main office up there. So I was out Sunday, so the only one I wanted was the office that was, where the office was. I wanted one like that. So just by luck, the guy was moving out of, well, he takes me over and I said, I'll take that, I'll take this one here. So they moved out in the cold days in. And you're only up there, what, 8 months
What?
in that house?
We moved in September and moved out the following June.
Yeah, but it's only up there. So, when I got the notice to move out, I called the guy from the office. I said, come on over guys, I gotta sell this house. So he says, well, what do you want for it? And I said, well, how much rather I paid? I said, just, we paid here for the last 8 months, and give me that here. So I was 46. So, okay. So, I got up, we was at the kitchen table, he walks out the front door, I get up, it's Sunday, I get up with the Sunday paper, go down to the den, there's a step down den, I get out of the den, sit down in the chair, I'm just opening the Sunday paper, I open the door,
Hey, is this camera going?
and this guy comes running
Is this
in by,
recording everything we do?
No, let's leave it alone, let's leave it alone.
this guy comes running in by me, he says, I'll take it.
They're
Take
open
what? He said, I'll
Massachusetts.
take this house. There's no question about anything about it. Behind him, there's another couple coming, running after them. They wanted it. I said, Jesus Christ, it's like I had been 15 minutes, that house was sold. I see the son of a bitch, why did I say 50,000?
Yeah.
I could have got anything for the goddamn thing. But that's not, that house today, you know what's going for? $225,000.
Down, yeah.
Boy, do I feel sorry for you.
Well, you know,
I didn't.
we've had good luck selling houses. Our house in Irving, we
Thank
bought
you,
on,
thought you'd never ask.
we bought on the VA loan.
Want to put a little more vodka in there?
And that took the longest to
What do you
sell.
squash those for?
So you don't have two,
Those little intestines in there.
no, if you have two to stuck together, then it dribbles down your chin, and we don't want to see that, it's too disgusting.
But you know, we had real good luck selling houses. The Irving house took the longest one. Scotty had to go to Chicago right away, and I had to stay in Irving. And he went, what, in February or March? We sold the house in May. But we bought it on a VA loan, and they had to come out and approve it. And then our real estate agent said, well, get FHA loan on it too. So you should get it into VA or FHA. And he said, if you sell it VA, you're apt to get the house back.
Oh, thank you.
If they renege, if something goes wrong and they
I get stolen always.
and they reneges on the sale. All right, I'm not talking well. But anyway, we didn't want to sell it on a VA because we didn't want to get it back again. Because you know, you can get a wreck back. So we sold it, we really sold
money
it.
back, yeah.
No, we really sold it on a VHA. But anyway, then we had to get the
Is
appraisal
this a
of,
long story or is this a short story? You were
Well-
going to renege your time.
well, I gave it to you, and you had your 2.5 minutes.
No,
Now,
I did not.
I'll give it back to you, I'll give it back to you. But let me finish this
Pretty
story.
soon?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, when we went to VHA, they had to come out and do an appraisal too. So when they came out, they appraised our house a lot lower than we thought they were going to. So I questioned it because we had made some improvements on the house. So he came out, and you know what? We had recessed doors from the hallway to the kitchen, recessed doors from the hallway to the living room. And he said, well, we missed those. So he came back and he said, well, we'll give you your appraisal. So, you know, that takes anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks. So I was stuck there from February till, what, May?
I'm
Well-
living in a hotel, doing
Yeah,
that.
living, and
More expenses.
we sold it, and
In Chicago.
it hadn't sold when I left there, so we finally said it was going to, we would go, and the real estate agent would take care of it. Well, I had everything inspected on that house, and the air conditioning inspected, and so forth. Well, then the new owners said that the air conditioning wasn't working properly. So Scotty got this Milt Cole, who was a lawyer up there, and he said as long as I had everything checked out before we sold the house, that we were not reliable, we were not responsible for anything that went wrong after they bought it. So, and it was something about and I'm not sure that because we had a new pump put on it, it was one of those water cooler things at that time.
That's kind of.
We had had a new pump put on it, and we had had everything checked out. So he said, well, just tell them, and he sent them a letter. But it was because the real estate agent was taking care of the buyer, not us, at that point. So anyway, we didn't make any money on that deal at all. No, we didn't lose it.
Well, you remember a night, it was a dark and stormy night, and it was in Worcester, Massachusetts. And you had invited me up to dinner. I don't know if you invited me up or not, but anyway, I was going to end up, that was when you lived in an upstairs apartment.
In Worcester?
Yeah, up from where the store was. We had to walk up a hill.
Yeah, but we had a first floor up.
Yeah, but you had to walk up some stairs.
Yeah, the front hall, remember remember the snowstorm that came from the top
Oh,
of the stairs?
yeah.
And so you sucked me into going shopping with you.
I did.
Yes, and we went down to the little local market and bought some, I don't know, steaks or something. And,
Probably pork chops, we couldn't afford so.
yeah, and he wanted we had I don't know what else we bought, but I had a bag of oranges. And,
You know,
We had-
Scotty brought the strangest people home all the time.
I'll take your point.
I don't mean you.
Ken
Of course not.
Ken Strum lived with us. for
Curly
6 months.
Brennan.
She's talking about the other people, not you.
So anyway, I started to go up these stairs. Daisy was ahead of me, and she had a cute little butt, and I was watching that butt go up those stairs, and I tripped and
I
fell.
was thinner in those days.
And all those goddamn oranges started to go down that stairway, and it was on a hill, and the oranges kept rolling down the hill, and I'm out there trying to capture all these oranges, and she's yelling and screaming at me.
Do you know that when we went
You
first?
don't remember that, do you?
No, when we went to Worcester first, did you ever meet Ken Strum?
Mhm.
Well,
Don't you listen?
he was from Newton,
I adopted
Massachusetts.
him.
He was from Newton, Massachusetts, where I was from too at that time.
He was assistant before you, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Scotty brought him
adopted
home
him.
to dinner every night for 6 months.
Oh,
Every night for 6 months. I never knew who I was gonna have for dinner. And,
Between him and Benny Fenlon with this
Bernie's
guy
been
here.
home. But Scotty was, he felt sorry for people who were,
you know that you were
young men who were away from
third
home.
person.
No, he
I
wasn't, he wasn't,
I thought I was the only one that.
he wasn't the third person. No, Neil, no, wait a minute.
You're
What-
off the
Where,
wall.
where were we
I
living?
think Strum came after you.
Strum came after you.
There was only one me. I mean,
Yeah, but when we first went to Worcester,
under the honkies,
Where'd I go?
From Worcester.
visit you all over this. You
where
know,
did you go?
Where'd I
To
go?
1200 in Boston.
yeah.
Because we went back to Boston and we moved in and out long enough from there, and Scotty got the flu and he had to have the doctor and I don't know what not, he couldn't go to work. But I can't remember, you were first and Ken Strum came.
He came after you.
Where were we living in Worcester when you were with us?
Where the stairs was our first apartment.
Yeah, it was your first apartment up
Yeah,
there.
well, then we moved up to
in-
Chatham
we
Street.
moved to
We
another
moved up
place,
to Chatham-
yeah.
Where
That's where Ken Strum used to go. So he was
Yeah,
after
probably.
you.
Yeah, he was after
He
you.
was after you.
And,
They
but
had
he
somebody
came,
better than me then.
No.
Where'd you go from Worcester?
From Worcester, I went to Fitchburg.
well, then you were
Where
gone.
you left Worcester.
Because Ken Strom came from Newton, Massachusetts, where I was from at that point.
I went to 1200.
And
You never told me about this.
Ken Strom,
Well, how did I end up in 1501? Oh, that's after the war, was it?
no, you went to 1200 after the war.
No, I was 1200 before the war. I got
Yeah,
I got Everett out of,
Oh, that's right after.
I got a manager job out of 1200.
And you
What's
used son of a bitch, you went into the army
Downtown.
before I ever got
Downtown.
before that.
I got a store out of 1200.
But Ken Strom, he was a likable individual. But Scotty brought him home to dinner every night for 6 months.
I'm gonna cry.
But that was apparently after you
Did he
left.
die? I hope.
No, but he,
I was having a Ken.
no,
He was
he,
I
no,
think he didn't say.
he went to work for Brown and Bigelow.
Oh, yeah, that's what he
That's
went.
right,
He
he
went
went
to
to work for
Brown.
Brown and Bigelow. But anyway, he and
Another successful person.
he and his wife separated. and they
When
had
are our
their daughter.
airplane tickets will be good for tonight and tomorrow?
No, wait a minute. No one ever replaced you, Neil.
Say that again.
No one ever replaced you. Neil was Scotty's first buddy. You were buddies before I ever met him.
You get your ass on that. We used to go down there in the Woolworth store at night after it was closed, and I had a little .22 pistol.
Shoot rats.
And we had these rats down there that were about 4 feet long. And we'd open up a can of sardines and put it down at the end of the aisle and turn all the lights off, and then we'd sit there
And shoot the
until we had
rats.
that can, and then we'd blast with those, we were using little shot shells. And this went on for 2 or 3 weeks. I mean,
So what'd you do with all the dead
I'm not
bodies?
finished yet. We had a ball.
Oh,
And
that
then one
Jenny.
day, Brackett came up and he said, "We got a defective shipment of toilet paper and stationery." And Look at all those little holes.
You're gonna spoil my dinner again tonight.
1200 was different than that. 1200 used to have these big black bugs, these water bugs.
If you bought toilet paper,
And you turn the lights.
all these little holes.
I always remember 1200 used to have these water bugs, they'd be about that big. And they'd go down at night when you turn the lights on, the floor would be crawling with these, I mean, thousands of them, crawling all over that floor, then going in all directions. And during the day, every once you hear some woman scream and one little bugs would be coming out. Then that place was, the water bugs in Boston, Boston, all those buildings
No,
down
all those old buildings were filled.
there. Oh, the damnedest.
Here, we have to watch the water bugs here. You go out during the summer and you lift up a pot that's been setting for some time and they crawl out all over the place. That's why you have to have termite control and bug control. Now, I take care of that internally because I put all these, what do they call them now? All of them. And they say bay leaves.
Keep traps.
Bay leaves, yeah.
Bring the
Not
babies,
traps.
just leave babies around.
But
and
bay
then keep
leaves in the drawers underneath, that keeps the water bugs out.
Oh,
But they will come in if they get too bad. But any place in the south, you get that problem. But I was starting to tell you something, and that what was it? It was so important.
You're getting bombed there, you better
Yeah, no,
better be careful, those damn pills you're taking are pretty damn powerful.
I haven't taken them today.
You know, there's only much difference in it.
just have him stay here another week, you won't be have to take any more pills.
Another drink will take care of it.
He's so well preserved, you don't need any pills.
The only thing I need is.
No, we
birth
found
control
low,
pills.
you
That's
never
the only
know.
thing
When
that keeps me.
When we're through with these, she never would have believed it.
Who? What?
Aunt Lo.
Oh.
The only
She was
pills I
very,
take are
no,
birth
she was
control.
very broad, she was very broad-minded, actually, wasn't she? Aunt Lo.
Oh, yeah, she turned out to be pretty good scale.
Yeah, when they came
Ate my
down,
guts first.
yeah, when they came down and visited us in Texas, Lawrence, we had a bar in that last house we had in Dallas, and I met him. Had
Daisy
a,
needs another drink here.
had a, listen, I won't be able to get dinner.
I'll
Had a,
get dinner,
What else
Daisy.
is new?
had a bar like it wasn't a wet bar, but it had where we had glasses and content. And Lawrence, when Scotty came home
Every
from
night
work,
he'd
was
give me-
always having me drink ready for him. Lawrence and Lawrence, you know, would have their cocktails with us. And, but she didn't know we drank what we did. But,
Did you used to drink a lot?
not until I met him. Not until I met you too. How did I get this glass? Where did this one come
That
from?
was my water glass.
You better knock it off there, kid.
I'll get dinner on the table. I'll get dinner on the table, Daisy.
No, I'll get dinner on
No,
it.
I'll get dinner on
No
this.
more drinks for you, kiddo.
He does his best cooking when he's had 3 martinis.
Get your ass on that way.
You're gonna get ill, kid.
Huh?
Well,
Mr. Straight over here.
when we go out
He's
tomorrow,
taking notes. Look at that son of a bitch. He's writing down everything we're saying.
when we go out tomorrow, Dad, we'll go to the grocery store, we'll stop by, and he's gonna cook dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's a good
We're
idea.
already gonna have
Yeah.
one.
Well, never
Daisy, all
mind,
you
it's gonna
gotta
be
do
a
is lay
surprise.
back on the couch and go like this.
It's gonna be a surprise, he's gonna cook dinner tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I had this whole week planned, and none of it's working out the way I had planned. My dinner last night was a failure.
Did you expect something?
My dinner last night was a failure
It was not a failure.
because the electricity went off.
Oh, you always got an excuse. It was not a failure. It was a very good dinner.
It
Was
was, yeah.
it? Good, okay.
I
As long
used
as
2
you,
Alka-Seltzers last night.
as long, as long as you're satisfied, I'm happy.
That's right.
I'm not sure about tonight, but anyway.
Neither are we.
You know,